Alright guys, so this video is an application geometry problem involving the perimeter of a rectangle, specifically finding the dimensions of the rectangle. So let's go ahead and just read through the problem and see what we're working with. So this says that the length of a rectangle is 1 centimeter more than twice the width. The perimeter of the rectangle is 110 centimeters. Find the dimensions. So anytime it comes to geometry problems, I like to have a picture to look at. It kind of just helps me visualize and see the problem a little bit more clearly here. Also, it's a good idea to have, or to at least have some kind of background knowledge as far as rectangles are concerned. So we do know that rectangles have 4 sides, opposite sides are equal. And when it comes to finding the perimeter of a rectangle, we're typically talking about adding up all sides of the rectangle. There is also a formula for finding the perimeter of a rectangle, and it's that formula that we actually want to use in order to solve through this problem here. The formula for perimeter of a rectangle is perimeter is equal to twice the length plus twice the width. So what we want to do is we want to read through our problem once again, and what we want to do is we want to pick out as much information as we possibly can in order to plug into our formula so that we can hopefully solve it. So let's read through this again. So the length of a rectangle is 1 centimeter more than twice the width. The perimeter is 110 centimeters. So it gives us the perimeter for this rectangle. The perimeter is 110, so we already know the perimeter. What we need is we need the dimensions. We need the length and the width. So since we know the total perimeter, I'm going to go ahead and take that 110 and plug it in for perimeter here, which means we're going to drop down the 2. L, we don't know. We can possibly get that from the equation. The plus sign is part of the formula. The 2 is part of the formula. And we might need to be plugging in for W here. Okay, so far we know that the total perimeter is 110 centimeters. We need to see if we can figure out what is the length and what is the width. And the only other information they give us is that the length is 1 centimeter more than twice the width. So having some kind of experience or practice in translating sentences into equations and into expressions really helps when it comes to word problems. That's kind of what they're meant for. All that translating stuff is meant to help you be able to comprehend word problems, application problems a little bit better. So whenever I look at this here, 1 centimeter more than twice the width, that sounds like to me, well, first we have twice the width. So whatever the width is, we want double that. We want twice it. But we don't just want double it. We want 1 centimeter more than twice that width. So it says the length is, so L is twice the width, so 2 times W, but I want 1 centimeter more than that. So I'm just going to tack on 1 extra centimeter to twice that width, and that's what the length is. The length is 2W plus 1, because I want twice the width plus an additional centimeter. Now they don't give us any information about the width. They say absolutely nothing about it, so the width is just regular. The width is the width. So in order to plug into our formula, in order to plug in for length, I'm going to be plugging in 2W plus 1. Since length is the same thing as 2W plus 1, they're interchangeable. There was nothing special about the width. The width is just the width. So this is the formula that we need to simplify and solve. Starting with distributing. Remember, if you have parentheses, you always start there. So I'm going to drop down the 110, distributing that to 2 times 2W gives us 4W, plus 2 times 1 is a 2, and drop down the 2W hanging back over here. Our next step would be to combine like terms. So again, I'm going to drop down the 210. When I combine like terms, 4W plus 2W is 6W, and drop down the 2. Since the variable is sitting on the right-hand side, I'm going to subtract that 2 to both sides, say minus 2 on both sides, giving me 6W on the right-hand side. 110 minus 2 is 108, which means in order to wrap up this problem, we need to divide out the coefficient. And I'm getting that width is equal to, let me see, 108 divided by 6 is 18. Sometimes I don't feel like doing calculations in my head. So what I get from here is that the width is equal to 18. Now, when it comes to word problems, we definitely always want to go back up to the original problem, reread the question to make sure that we are answering what they specifically asked for. This question says to find the dimensions, which means we don't just need the width, we also need the length. So we only have half of our answer at this point. In order to find the length, so we can use this little mini formula that we kind of created over here. Length is twice the width plus 1. So if I double the width, which we now know is 18, and we add 1 to it, we're going to know the length. So double the width, so 2 times 18 is 36, and 36 plus 1 is 37. So that means the length is 37 centimeters, the width is 18 centimeters. So if we do 37 plus 37 plus 18 plus 18, hopefully we are getting 110 centimeters. Otherwise, that's it for this video.